We are in Latvia, more specifically capital city Riga, a place that over the years has given us some of the best rallycross action ever. Welcome to round 4 of the World Rallycross Championship. We are in for a fascinating weekend, and joining us for the ride, youngest ever FIA race winner, Rainis Nitish. Rainis, it's brilliant that you've joined us this weekend. Thank you very much for your company. Listen, before we do anything else, let's take a look at what you get up to. RX2E, chucking one of the electric cars around. Last time out in France, sticking it on the podium.
Yeah, that was brilliant. You know, so long time I haven't been there racing, but now I came back, electric car, boom, podium. That was nice weekend, and I really enjoyed it.
Let's talk about this weekend. Obviously, your home event, Latvia. Give us an idea of what we can expect.
First of all, I hope good weather. Let's pray. But I think good battles, because if you see the championship and everything, how the boys are fighting to each other, and also the double header, plus Ekstrom is back, and for sure he want to beat the full championship racers. So I think full of fighting.
It's going to be a fascinating weekend, but before we get into the action, let's take a look first at exactly how things stack up coming into this weekend. Round 3 brought the teams and drivers to Latvian in northwestern France. Fast, flowing circuit, but famous for being difficult to overtake. That meant the start and run down to turn 1 was key to success, and Johan Kristoffersen knew just that.
Kristoffersen, just holds it. Kristoffersen goes into the early lead.
Fully committed in his first qualifying race with this massive slide, it was worth the risk, the Swede eventually going on to qualify on the front row for his semi-final. We also saw the resurgence of Niklas Gronholm. The young Finn, son of multiple WRC champion Marcus Gronholm, hasn't had the best start to the year, but his pace in Latvian saw him comfortably qualify for the final. As always, the Hansen brothers were running right at the business end. Kevin Hansen consistently on the pace, winning his semi to bag a front row spot for the final. Meanwhile, his elder brother Timmy was having to work for his results. The pace was there, but he struggled to get the car completely dialed in during qualifying, and that left him with some work to do in his semi. Running older tyres, he was having to fend off Timo Scheider in the all-in Seat Ibiza, while Johan Kristoffersen just disappeared off into the distance. But on the final lap, Kristoffersen dropped right off the pace.
Timmy Hansen's going for the inside line. Timmy Hansen has got the better of Kristoffersen.
It wasn't long before both Hansen and Scheider were passed. Gearbox and drive shaft failure the culprits, who just hung on for third and a back row spot for the final. The question now was whether or not the EKS-JC team could get the car repaired in time. Kristoffersen's Audi S1 appeared at the pre-grid, but it had already closed. Kevin Abbring as first reserve took his place, and the world champion was out. With both the Hansens locking out the front row for the final, this was theirs for the taking. And as expected, side-by-side teamwork through turn 1 and 2 was enough to cover off the win.
Look at the Hansen brothers controlling the race.
While Kevin Hansen looked the quicker, he could not make a pass stick, and Timmy made it back-to-back victories and another Hansen 1-2.
Timmy Hansen takes his second win in a row. What an amazing performance from the Swede.
Niklas Gronholm closed out the podium spots. Finn had the pace to win, but instead, Latvian was once again home to the Hansens. Which means Timmy Hansen holds a 10-point advantage over Kevin Hansen at the top of the championship standings. Then comes Christian Szabo, 1 point ahead of Johan Kristoffersen, with Kevin Abbring rounding out the top 5. It's all been about the Hansens this year, hasn't it? But what I want to talk about is Johan Kristoffersen, because there's no question his pace is there. But at every single round of the championship this year, he's had a problem, hasn't he? Obviously, first round in Barcelona, he was disqualified from Q1. Sweden, he picks up that puncture. And then last time out in France, drive shaft and gearbox failure. He's literally just handing points to the Hansens. He's given it away.
Yeah, I mean, he's on it in Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 all the time. But when semis comes, he's just bang giving the points to Hanssens, and for sure now it's doubleheader and he have to turn it around, otherwise it will be too late.
It must be, as a driver, so frustrating for him, particularly when he's showing the pace that he's naturally got, because he's quick.
For sure he is quick, and you know, when he drops down a few places in qualis, then he is straight back, and you know, after qualis you get some points, but if you don't get points in semis and final, especially for the victory, where 3 more than P2, so not good.
Listen, we've also got to talk about, as you know, the kind of the night watchman, I suppose, of World Rallycross. You've got your Christian Zarbos, Nicholas Gronholm, great to see him back on the podium in France, and Kevin Abring. They're all there or thereabouts, and if the big 3 falter, they're there to pick up points.
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting Nicholas to be in the fight naturally, but somehow they've been struggling a little bit. But yeah, in France the podium was there, and if you see the championship standings from P3 to P6 is just few points.
There's nothing there. Yeah.
The battle is on.
It's a fantastic battle, but up at the front, it's all about Timmy Hansen, and I sat down for a tranquil chat with our World Championship leader.
I like coming out here, especially in Riga. We're in the middle of a park in a forest, and perfect to go a few minutes out, spend some time alone before diving right back into the action of the weekend.
Timmy, here we are, round 4 of the World Rallycross Championship, and you're leading it. It's been, all told, a pretty good start to the year for the Hansen family, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been so much better than we could really dream of, you know. Like starting 1-2 in Barcelona was just the perfect start, and then we carried on in Sweden and thought that was the best we could do, and then another 1-2 in France. The results have been amazing, but the races themselves have been really tough. Coming here, I still feel like I want to do a little bit better than I did in France. It's a similar track, high grip again, and I have a lot of ideas of how to improve.
What's the secret to the success of the Hansen team?
The success of my family, and it goes back so long. I think my dad won the first European Championship in '89 or something, and I have so much respect for what he's doing and my mom is doing, and honestly I don't know what is the secret, you know, but it must be something in that we love this sport, and not racing is not an option.
And it is Hansen 1 and 2. Look at them working as a team, shadowing each other, going side by side.
So can you clear up for us now? Do you go into a meeting going, listen, Timmy's going to win this one, or Kevin's going to win this one?
Going into a race, we both want to win 100%. But, you know, lining up for a final, like once we have done all those qualifyings and semi-final and got so far, that's where we play together. So the biggest part there is to give a lot. Like you have to give some to get even more back. We have both agreed between each other that we are equally good, and it's just about who has the better day. And you know, like the draw, if you get an inside draw or an outside draw, it can change your weekend completely. This is Rallycross. So, but if it comes to the end, in the last race, the last final, and we're equal on points, then of course we'll both race 100% to get the title.
How much would it mean to you to win another World Championship, particularly with it being the last derivative of Supercar?
It is a special season, knowing that we have to say goodbye to something that's been so good to us. And of course I want to win with this car. I've been working on this car since 2015-14, you know, and with Persia, with the team together, trying to fine-tune all the way. And now it feels like this is where we got. This is the best we could do. And now let's go race with this.
So there you go, Timmy Hansen as hungry as ever. But listen, Rhinus, it was interesting what you had to say there about the rivalry with his brother Kevin. You know, they work so well together as a team. They work so well together on track, and we saw that in France. But, you know, what he was saying at the end of the year, if push comes to shove, when there's a championship at stake, they will go head to head.
Yeah, I mean, the whole team, and they both been doing really great job so far. But, you know, especially in France, when I saw Kevin following Timmy all the time, I saw that maybe he had a little bit more speed. Anyway, they jokered at the same time in the last lap, and that was a shame. I wanted to see those brother fights already now. You know, I can't wait for the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Time will tell as we get towards the end of the season. In the meantime, as you said, the Hansen's absolutely dominating this year's championship. Now, as Timmy alluded to, it is the last year of the current generation of supercar. So here is Johan Kristoffersen to give us a guided tour of these legendary rallycross cars.
Hello everyone, now I want to give you a quick tour of my 2021 Audi S1. So it has about 600 horsepower. We are doing 0 to 100 kph in about 2 seconds. The weight is 1,300 kilo, so quite powerful. And the weight is so low is because most of the stuff outside is carbon. So the front is carbon, the wings are carbon, the right hand door is carbon. The only steel on the car is the roof and the driver door. The driver door is steel because of the safety. Damper travel is about 260 millimeter long. And inside the cockpit is not made for long trips, so because the fuel tank is only 22 liter. And yeah, it's not so many fancy stuff inside. You don't have any radio or air conditioning, so it can be pretty hot inside. We can reach all the way up to 70 degrees inside during the heats. So yeah, steering wheel, some buttons on the steering wheel for launch and wipers. Gear stick, you only move it back and forth for shifting with full throttle, no clutch, and then the handbrake. So basically you don't need much more than that. And then we have a safety net as well, which is attached like this when we drive, not to get any hands or so on outside if we are rolling around. So hopefully we'll not do that. And during the race weekend we have some small tuning. We can go higher and lower with the car, change a little bit of toe, the angle of the wheel in this direction, and the camber of the car in this direction. Otherwise it's not much to do. Just keep focused forward because the car is very fast. So can't wait to get back racing here in Riga.
They are incredibly special pieces of kit, Rainis, and it's going to be sad at the end of the year when we do go electric and we say goodbye to this generation of supercar, because at the end of the day, so many stars have paved the way and they've made their name in the sport as a result of these things.
Yeah, definitely we will miss these cars, or they will never die. You know, I think they will be most popular cars in the sport. You know, we know the sound of ALS and launch and everything, but future is future. We go electric, and I think we will find something nice in electric as well.
Well, in tomorrow's show, we're going to have a good look around the RX2 E-car, so make sure you join us for that. In the meantime, here's Nicholas Gronholm to give us a quick guided tour of this Riga circuit.
We're in Riga, standing at the start line. This is where, you know, the adrenaline kicks in, the heart starts pumping, 5 to 6 cars lined up together, ready to go. Let's take a look at the rest of the track. So now we're in turn 1 of the trickiest corners of the season, I would say. 5 cars coming into an almost 90-degree corner always causes a lot of action. What we have here next to the grandstands is, I would say, the best overtaking spot on the track. You can basically brake next to the guy in front or try the undercut. Next, we take a look at the jump. Coming to the jump, we're carrying quite a lot of speed. Usually I tap the brake just a little bit here to not fly too far. We already land on the flat ground, and immediately when you land you need to be on the brakes into the tight hairpin left. So yeah, it's quite a nice section of the track. Coming from the jump and the tight hairpin left, we have to make the decision if we take the normal route or if we take the joker. What makes this track quite unique is that we have 2 jumps next to each other, which we don't get anywhere else, so creates quite a good show. So now we are in the last corner of the track, which is also the joker merge. Quite interesting part of track for sure. Very unique, always causes a lot of action, and where the spotters come in handy to tell you what the other guys are doing if they're trying to go around the outside or trying the undercut. And as you can see, here we have the finish line. So when you see that one first, you know it's been a good one. I am looking forward to the race. Hope you too. Enjoy the action.
It's a hell of a track here in Riga. Listen, Ryan, it's very quickly. It's going to get fruity down into turn 1. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah, for sure. Turn 1 is nice, you know, all the battles going on there. But we cannot forget about turn 4 next to big grandstand, and also turn 5, because all the action happens there after the start. So let's see those turns.
Well, we are pretty much ready to go. If you are watching us live on YouTube, switch yourself over to Red Bull TV for continued coverage. We've got to get out of the way. Enjoy the show.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome to round 4 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship from Latvia's capital city of Riga and the dramatic Biķernieki racetrack. Riga has hosted World Rallycross every year since 2016 and hosted a double-header in 2020, and it does the same this weekend. 2 races, a potential 60 points maximum score, and the championship